Sheriff Richard Fuller has dropped by for his weekly visit. How are you this morning?
I'm spectacular, Ken.
All right, good to have you with us this morning. An update first on the Corrections Training Council.
Yeah, so the Michigan Sheriff's Coordinating and Training Council gathers information yearly about the training that goes on for the corrections officers in the state of Michigan. It holds the actual trainings at colleges and universities, and sheriff's offices are required to make sure that their corrections officers go through these things. One thing of note that we noticed yesterday is the number of recruits that were hired over the last year in the state of Michigan increased, which was a good sign. We appreciated that. On top of that, we noticed that there was over 500 people that graduated from these academies last year, and the scores of their tests increased. So a lot of good things happening at the Training Council, and we're real proud to be part of that.
Also, let's talk a little bit about KRESA. They do wonderful things, wonderful resource for students and others here in our community, working on a brand new facility out on Sprinkle Road. And they have, by the way, their Career Connect open house for students coming up next Tuesday night. And I know the Sheriff's Department does some work with KRESA as well. Tell us a little bit about that relationship.
We do. We're real excited to be part of the law enforcement team that's in this county helping KRESA form programs for the future of law enforcement, meaning that at their new building, we are going to have classes for students that will gear them towards, or at least give them opportunities to explore the ideas of possibly going into law enforcement. More and more, we're finding that the demographics of our country are changing, and that fewer and fewer people are going to be available for work jobs that are needed. And so what we're doing is trying to make sure that there's a point in time where people give opportunities to students in schools, and they can learn about law enforcement and make informed judgments if they want to go into it or not.
Kalamazoo County Sheriff Richard Fuller with us this morning on WKZO. Since we spoke last week, had the ALPAC update on Thursday last week, kind of the police department report card, if you will. How did that meeting go?
It went really well. So the Advocates and Leaders for Police and Community Trust, ALPAC, here in Kalamazoo, met at the Douglas. We held a meeting with about 50 people showed up, so it was a pretty good crowd. We were able to give a report card. It's kind of interesting. It's like you remember going in to see the teacher and having reports. And actually, you'd sit out in the hallway while mom and dad went in and listened to the teacher. And then
it was more like it. Yeah.
It was, yes. But, this is where we got in front of the community, told them basically how many calls come in, how many complaints against the agency, how do you handle complaints against the agency if there are some, how many traffic stops, a lot of different things like that, arrest made, etc. But the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety, the Kalamazoo Township Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, and the Portage Police Department, as well as the Michigan State Police, were all present, presenting information, and were able to answer the crowd's questions, and it split up 50-50, the presentation, and then the other hour was questions. By the end of the hour, we realized there was a lot more questions, so we were going to do less reporting at the scene or at the community event. We'll put it more online, and then we'll stand there and answer more questions. But it was an exciting night for everybody involved, and we were happy to help our community understand what happens in law enforcement.
We were talking a couple of moments ago about future people going into law enforcement. Students may be looking to make that a career. What's the latest on positions that are available right now at the Sheriff's Department?
Well, they're getting fewer, which is awesome for us. The Board of Commissioners listened last year when we were asking for different abilities, different ways to hire people, meaning more dollars, as well as retention bonuses, hiring bonuses, and it seems to be working fairly well. We have, I talk about how the pool went to a puddle. Well, the puddle's getting more water right now, and so we're excited to see if it gets back to a pool of candidates. But right now, we're filling up on our positions, but that doesn't mean we're totally full. So if you're interested in becoming a Kalamazoo County deputy, or you want to work on the corrections side and be a Kalamazoo County corrections deputy, we have room right now for a select few. But we're looking for you, and if you're interested, come on out to the Sheriff's Office and let us know, and we'll help you out.
Well, that certainly is good news. Thinking back to some of the conversations we've had on this topic in the past.
Yeah, big difference.
Kalamazoo County Sheriff Richard Fuller, our guest, our weekly conversation here in the studio at WKZO. As always, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.